there! Thanks for popping in. My name's Peggy, and this is my channel, Teacher Friend. And I'm a former public school teacher and a current homeschool mom. Today I want to talk to you about what you'll need for your homeschool room. So, let's... So, as a public school teacher, I had all of the things for a classroom, except somehow I still spent a ton of money. I don't know how it happened. At least that's what I tell my husband. I don't know. It's definitely not that I just really love school supplies. Anyways, but I wanted to see what I would need for a homeschool room, because a homeschool room and a classroom are very different. It should be. They're different ways of learning. They are just by nature different. So what I did when I first started my homeschool room was keep track of what I was using in my classroom so that I could tell you all. So here we go. So the first thing I thought of to tell you was a folder. I know you're thinking, goodness, Peggy, I would have bought a folder. They're like 20 cents. But the reason you want a folder is you want at least one. I mean, honestly, they are really cheap, like I said, so just go buy like a bunch of them because you'll use them. But this particular one is for things that you are currently working on. So in my classroom, when I was a teacher, I used to have, those big construction paper pieces, and I would give my kids one each week, and they'd keep it in the corner of their desks, and that way we could keep what we're working on in those folders, and then at the end of the week, I'd send it home. So then their parents knew exactly what we did that week, and they could pull things out as we were working on them. Now, as a homeschool mom, basically what I do is similar. So for example, like these are the sight words we're working on for this week. So I'll keep this for, this week or until she's, doing well with them. It's homeschool. I can keep going or not keep going as much as I want to. And then I'll just toss this. But for example, this graph in here is a sticker graph that we can keep working on for quite a while. As long as we want to, we can do lots of things with it. Also in here are, say, worksheets. Like this is a sight word worksheet where we just did one half of it, and then we'll do the other half another time, and we just save it, and it just makes finding the things we're working on a lot easier. So, folder, get one of those. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, amongst all these things here that you can't see yet, is a trash can. This is not my homeschool trash can, but I will link it because I do think it would be a good homeschool trash can. You're gonna want a trash can because your kids are gonna cut things up or mess up papers or open up a box of pencils and they'll need to throw that away. You'll have pencil shavings, whatever. You're gonna need a trash can. So make sure you have one of those close by, and it can just be your kitchen trash can. Just make sure you have one close. Another thing I wanted to mention is a pencil sharpener. This is the best handheld pencil sharpener that I have found, and it's pretty cheap. So I will link this one below. I do not think you needed a fancy pencil sharpener, but I wanted one. So this is the best mechanical pencil sharpener, and trust me, I have sharpened a lot of pencils. So trust me when I say this is the best one, and I will link it below. This I got at the dollar store. It's just a cheap little pointer. Kids love it. They're fun. You can point to words, all kinds of things with it. You don't need it, but it's nice to have, and it's really cheap. I'm gonna quick go over the school supplies. I'm not gonna tell you what school supplies to buy because you guys have purchased school supplies year after year after year. You know what to buy. But I am going to tell you what to buy because, for example, Expo markers. These are the best ones that I have found. And if you buy generic ones, you're going to end up spending more money because you're just going to have to throw them away. So for example, the markers that came with my whiteboard that I purchased, I threw away almost immediately because they were trash. So just spend a little extra money and get these ones. You might also want some Sharpies. I go ahead and buy the big box of blue, but if you have older kids, you might not want to do that. These are the pencils you want, and I will link them below. I do not know how to pronounce that, but again, this is another thing. If you buy dollar store pencils, the lead or whatever they put inside of those is just broken, and so it's not going to work very well. It's going to be very frustrating. You're going to end up spending more money in the long run. So just go ahead and spend the extra dollar or whatever it is and get this kind. Ruler, draw straight lines, measure, highlighters. I really just bought those Prince Video just because I wanted them. And Post-its. You're gonna want something to mark your books with, your teacher's manuals, books you're reading from, student workbooks, etc. Post-it notes are good for that. Paper clips are also good for that. These things are what I use. I do highly recommend though that if you have a kid that's first grade or above, that you have one book, at least one book, that you don't just like go from page 1 all the way through, that you go, say page 35 and then 62, 41, whatever, like you go to different pages, so that way the kids have to learn number sense by doing that, because they're gonna really learn a lot just by having to find the pages. You know, go to page 37, is that, you know, they're on page 41. Ooh, did you go too far? You're on page 27. Do you need to go a little farther maybe? So they're gonna really learn a lot from that. Erasers are cheap and useful. Also in here, I have a clipboard. You can buy these at the dollar store. I don't know where I bought this one, but I'll link one below just in case. This is from the dollar store too. And it's sort of in the same categories. You're gonna need something hard to write on, and so that you can work at the couch or the floor or whatever cozy space you're in, you're gonna want that. I also have this tray that you'll see in my homeschool tour. Make sure to check that out because I really like my homeschool room. But also then you can see my setup. You learn a lot from just seeing other people's. You're gonna want a planner. Now, I don't plan my homeschool, but I do write down what we did every day, and I do like doing that. And then I also will just make notes like, oh, I want, you know, my son Emmett to learn this. I want my son, or not my son, I want my daughter Ella to learn this. And so then I remember those things. So get yourself a planner. I'll link this one below. It's not very expensive, and I like it. I'll go over this more in another video. Baby wipes. Even if you don't have a baby, these things are wonderful. And you can have your kids help you clean the classroom with these. I use these all the time. These particular ones are fragrance free from Target, and I like those ones. You don't need a bin for your crayons and markers and things. I like to have one, and you will need something to hold your markers and whatnot, because these little boxes don't last. They're gonna get really trashed and broken, and so just, if you don't want a cute little bin like this or whatever, just go to the dollar store and get you know, the pencil bins that they have there. This is a timer. I like this timer. The other one I bought didn't really work very well. This one you can set the different colors for different times, which is interesting. So like green can be 5 minutes, yellow can be 1 minute, red can be 30 seconds, whatever you want to do. And I like that. My daughter likes to have a timer so that I can say, hey, we're going to do this activity for just 1 minute and then we'll be done, and she knows when that's coming to an end, and it makes her feel better. Some kids like to do races, you know, like addition, problem racing. So you could have it for that also. Lots of things you could use this for. Next up is scissors. I'm gonna link these ones below for those of you that have little kids, because these ones cut paper, but they will not cut you. Watch, I'll show you. I'm fine. So those are good to have. So for example, I know my 1-year-old's not gonna get cut with those, but my daughter can still use them. And then you'll want adult scissors also. Bins. I've watched a lot of homeschool tours, and it seems like a lot of parents find these bins really helpful, and I will link this below because I had a little bit of trouble finding one that I was sure would fit all of our books. This one here has a cubby at the top. So it seems like what a lot of homeschool parents do is they will each one of their kids will have one of these, and their pencils and whatnot can go in here. And I think that's a good idea. And I don't think this was very expensive. $10? Don't quote me on that. Don't quote. Paper. You're also going to want paper. This is the kind that I use with young kids because it has the lines in it so that it helps them to write. If you have an older kid, though, just get a regular journal. Copy paper. Even if you don't have a printer, still you can still use this for a lot of stuff, like draw me a picture of what we just read about, etc. So you'll want that. And cards, 3x5 index cards. I use these, for example, for I made them into flashcards. You can use them as bookmarks. Write down one thing you learned from the story, etc. You can do a lot of things with index cards, so I recommend getting. I also have a whiteboard. After watching a lot of homeschool tours, it doesn't seem like a lot of homeschool parents do have whiteboards, and so I don't think that you need one, but I just really wanted one, so I'll link mine below. And I think it's really useful. I do a lot with it, and it's really easy to do stuff with. So that's about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you have any questions below, and please make sure to like and subscribe so I can make you guys more videos, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.